Welcome to Outside Views. Today we're going to talk about something that should be blindingly obvious, but apparently needs to be said out loud in 2025. Many self-identified trans people are not actually trans. Yeah, I said it. And no, that's not hate. It's just reality. Let's start by understanding what real trans people are. Real trans people experience so-called gender dysphoria. That is a recognized psychological condition. It is serious, it is painful, and it means feeling profound distress because of a mismatch between biological sex and gender identity. And real trans people usually want nothing more than to live quietly as the opposite sex. They want to pass. They want to blend in. They do not want to stand out. They don't want applause. They don't want a medal for existing. They just want to be left alone to live a normal life. But now, thanks to the internet, thanks to social media, thanks to TikTok therapists, we have a completely different phenomenon exploding. The rise of the self-identified trans person. No diagnosis, no dysphoria, no real transition, no attempt to pass, no serious effort to live as the opposite sex. Just a new trendy identity plucked out of the blue and announced to the world with a 2-minute video and 10 new made-up pronouns. Congratulations, you're brave now. You are stunning now. You are a hero for changing your bio on Instagram. Isn't it amazing how medical conditions become so popular when you can collect social points for having them? Funny, nobody's racing to self-diagnose themselves with Crohn's disease or epilepsy. But suddenly, half the internet is gender special. And let's be clear, this isn't about real trans people. This isn't about people like Buck Angel, Marcus Deeb, or Blair White. This is about people who are using being trans as a personality, as a shield from criticism, as a shortcut to belonging, or frankly, as a substitute for addressing real psychological issues they don't want to face. Because many of these self-identified trans individuals don't have gender dysphoria. They have depression. They have anxiety. They have trauma. They have autism spectrum disorders. They have body image problems. They have social isolation. But instead of getting actual help, they are told by the internet gurus that changing their pronouns will solve everything. It's the new snake oil. Feeling lonely? Well, you're probably non-binary. Feeling anxious? You might be gender fluid. Hate your body during puberty? Clearly you're trans. Congratulations. Here's your new flag emoji. Here's your pre-written coming out post. Here's your pre-approved victim status. Problem solved, right? So wrong. Because real gender dysphoria isn't fixed by TikTok trends. Real dysphoria ruins lives if left untreated. And real trans people have no choice in the matter. It is not fun. It's not fashionable. It's not a quirky aesthetic. It's a heavy burden they live with every day. And meanwhile, we have influencers online telling 12-year-olds that gender is like a mood ring. That you can switch between male, female, demi-boy, agender, gender fawn and dragon king depending on how you feel after breakfast. Spoiler alert, that's not being trans. That's just being confused. And being confused is normal, especially during adolescence. And newsflash, hating your body when you're 14 is called being human. It's not a medical emergency. It doesn't require hormones. It doesn't require surgery. It requires patience, maturity, and sometimes therapy. But in today's culture, if you question any of this nonsense, you are labeled a bigot. If you say, wait, not everyone claiming to be trans actually is, you are accused of committing violence. If you suggest that kids need time and support rather than affirmation and drugs, you are banned from platforms, because feelings matter more than facts now. But here is the uncomfortable truth. Most self-identified trans people online are not transgender. They don't live their lives as the opposite sex. They don't even attempt to present as the opposite sex. They pile on the pronouns and colored hair and declare themselves oppressed. But they change nothing fundamental about their lives. They demand that the world changes for them instead. And that is not what real transition is about. Real trans people don't want the spotlight, as I said. They don't want special treatment. They don't want every interaction to be about their gender. They want to pass unnoticed. They want their outside to match their inside. Not to declare war on reality itself. Not to invent 70 new genders and force everyone else to play along. And let's be honest, the explosion of self-identified trans people damages real trans people most of all. It trivializes their struggles. It makes the public cynical. It turns serious medical conditions into social trends. And when people inevitably push back, it's the real trans individuals who pay the price. They get caught in the backlash. They get lumped in with the activists, the posers, the frauds. They deserve better. We owe them honesty. We owe them the truth. We owe them the right to be recognized for the serious reality they face, not the carnival of made-up identities flooding the internet. So let's be clear. Being uncomfortable with gender roles is not being trans. Hating your appearance is not being trans. Liking dresses if you're a boy or short hair if you're a girl is not being trans. Having social anxiety is not being trans. Real trans people exist. Real gender dysphoria exists. But it is rare. It is serious. And it requires serious, individualized, compassionate medical care. Not political slogans, not online validation, not automatic affirmation without question. In a sane world, we would help confused young people navigate their feelings without rushing them into irreversible decisions. In a sane world, we would tell the truth even when it's uncomfortable. In the sane world, we would protect both the real trans community and the wider society from the damage caused by identity trends gone wild. And maybe it's time to start being sane again. So thanks for watching Outside Views, where facts still matter, where mental health still matters, and where real compassion means telling the truth. Subscribe, stay critical, stay kind, and don't let the loudest voices drown out reality. And if you want to see another video, the next one is right here in the end screen.